Hello, welcome to IBN. My name is Agnetta, and today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, free will. Every day in our lives, we encounter scenarios and situations which require us to make decisions and choices. Some of these decisions that you're called to make are from the mundane, such as what to eat, what to wear, or whether to snooze that alarm or not. And some are more serious, like our career paths or our life partners, and other serious decisions such as those ones. One might say that our lives, to a great extent, is a summation of the decisions that we ourselves have made or others around us have made. This ability to make choices within physical limitation is what we refer to as free will. I mentioned physical limitation because I might make the choice that I want to fly today, but let's be sincere, I won't really be able to fly. And when God designed man, he put this feature in him, if you might say, this feature of being able to make decisions. The question that you then ask ourselves is, why did God create man with the ability to make decisions? In our first devotion, the designer, we saw that the essence of God is love, as we read from the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. And this love is the foundation of his kingdom and his relation with man. So when God created man, one of his desires was to be in a loving relationship with man. And for man to be in this loving relationship with God, he also has to make that choice to be in this relationship. And for love to actually be love, there has to be some sense of freedom. A quick example of an illustration that you often hear. If a man was to go to a woman and point a gun on her head and ask the woman to say that, yeah, that she loved him, this woman obviously will end up saying that she loves the man because there's a gun on her head. But we can all agree that that's not really true love, because for love to be true, there has to be that sense of freedom. So why did God really create man with this ability to make choice? It goes back to this, that God wanted man to be able to make free choices for himself. He wanted man to be able to worship him voluntarily without any force. Because for love to be true love, there has to be freedom, as some have said. And so, as we look at this matter, there are a few things we can conclude on the matter of free will. The first thing that we see, that our designer, God, is not a tyrannical being whose desire is to receive, unquestioned obeisance or worship without any reasoning or without you making that decision for yourself. Or he's not a God that tells you that you have to worship me or else something will happen to you. The same case of the woman who is forced to say they love a man because there's a gun on their head. That's the first thing that we see about God, that he's not a tyrannical being. Something else that we see is that God gave us high intellectual ability and the ability to make choices. And he has also put before us the strongest persuasions on why we can be true to him and why we should be able to worship him with all of our hearts. That he has gave us that ability, that we cannot say that I am not able to make this choice to worship or to love God. That's the first thing that we see about our Maker. The second thing that you can come to see in relation to man is that man has the ability to make the choice to love God and worship him. In the book of Joshua chapter 24 verse 15, as Joshua is addressing the Israelites, he tells them that, yeah, choose ye today whom you shall worship, but for me and my house we shall worship the Lord. And even for us to this day, we still have those choices that we are called to make. In the book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 20, Jesus writes that he's standing at the door and he's knocking, and if anyone hears his voice and opens the door, that he will come and sit with him and even sup with him. And for us today, for us today, are we willing to make that decision to open that door for Christ? Are we willing to make that decision to worship God with all of our hearts, our minds and soul? Just because, not because we are forced to do it, but because we are willing and we actually love the Lord who is calling us to worship him. And I think those are thoughts that you can just think about in the course of the day and even in the course of life. Yeah, we'll end at that today.